Hello Ratbags, it's Jade Plays Games back with another Access show, a mini one today taking a look at Fallout 76, another informational video brought to you by the people at Vaultec. You will emerge, and this time you're going to be bringing them nukes down. We've got a tiny bit more information from this small short Atomics for Peace video talking about what nuclear weapons are going to be like and how you're going to obtain them in Fallout 76. Obviously, we've got a good few months still before Fallout 76 comes out. 14th of November, it's going to be finally here. But what are we going to be doing with this end game content? Because that's what nuclear missiles are going to be. They are going to be really end game. In fact, you're not going to be able to access the nuclear missiles until you've completed the main campaign. Don't forget, there is story and there are elements of normal quests. And you're going to have to complete all of these before you actually go and unlock the nuclear weapons. What's interesting here again, and I'm going to make a bigger video talking about this, all these informational videos are very much geared towards showing PvP aspects. They're literally always got some poor Vaultec nuclear cola boy getting murked by some other players. So what is he going to do in this one? He's going to decide he needs to go big. No more just running around for Blankerwood. Only for the zombies. When it comes to other players and the Scorched monsters, that's right, the Scorched monsters, they're going to have to come up a little bit bigger. So the codes you gain from enemies around the world, quest lines and other players, these codes will give you the ability to at least unlock the nuclear missile bunker, and then you've got to have codes to actually set the nuclear missiles off. So there's going to be almost 2 sets of codes you need. So you can see here, obviously everyone's got the bingo sign, and that's going to give them access, and then they can go in and they can use their codes to start nuclear missiles in earnest. Now this next few minutes of this video really shows, I think, how Bethesda are dialing back the PvP focus. I'm sure these informational videos got done a good few months ago, and the idea is you're meant to use the nuclear missiles on fissures that will close the Scorched Beast from rising, and then you can go and get high goods. But as you saw in that clip, his final target wasn't the Scorched Beast, it was in fact other players. That's strictly not actually true. When it comes to nuclear missiles, you won't be able to aim them at players directly. From what I've read from some of the interviews and some of the newsletters that come out, you're going to literally be using them just to take on these Scorched Beasts. Now, I've got an interview and a quote from a developer at Fallout 76 saying that the nuclear missiles will be used to close these fissures that you've just seen that beast come out of. So it's a bit odd that we're seeing in the actual trailer the nuclear missile has caused the Scorched Beast to arrive. A very bit mixed up, a very bit confusing. So we're going to delve into that in a second, and we're just going to go over the whole notion of nuclear missiles, whether you think it's a good idea, bad idea, and I'll give you a bit more information. So when this no clip documentary was announced talking about Fallout 76 and the making of it, they had an interview with the project lead Jeff Gardner, and here he says the end goal in this game, it is a cyclical story with the nukes. These huge winged bat-like creatures crawl up out of the world called Scorched Beasts. You're supposed to find the nuke codes to kill them, to seal their fissures. That also again irradiates the world. Now clearly what we can see from this is that the Scorched Beasts don't seem to be just running around the world anyway, and you can see the nuclear missile has to be launched before they pop out of the ground. That may not be strictly true, maybe they just do that anyway, and obviously they're still going to pop out. But if the whole idea of the nuclear missile is to stop them popping out, why are they going to pop out straight after you've just launched a nuclear missile? It's a bit confusing. That's why I believe Bethesda really have changed a little bit here about what the nuclear missiles were going to be, the end game, how it's going to be implemented. From that interview, it was clear that the nuclear missiles are meant to stop the Scorched Beasts from coming out. They may be running around the world. You fire off a nuclear missile and it will destroy the creatures and stop the cracks from opening where they can come forth. But if we purely go by the newest Vaultec video, which obviously is really recent, that interview was done a good few months ago now, then it's the other way round. Actually, nuclear missiles cause the Scorched Beast to come out of the ground. So very interesting. I'm going to dig around. I'm going to see if I can get more of a definitive answer. If you guys know a little bit more about that, maybe you've seen another article or you've heard an interview with another developer recently. I would say recently. Don't show me something that got said at Fallout 76 announcement or QuakeCon. Give me something fairly decent so we can get to the bottom of whether or not the nuclear missiles are going to cause the Scorched Beast to come out or they're going to actually make them go away. I think this is just a very small example of the problems with Bethesda and Fallout 76. They certainly announced it and they've definitely took on board feedback. Now I've done a video talking about this, how I believe Bethesda were a bit scared of the negative reception and they definitely have dialed things back a little bit. And more, every time we see one of these Vaultec videos, I am beginning to believe that's true, because it's just so much focus on PvP against player versus player action. Yet every word that comes out of Bethesda's mouth in interviews is, oh no, it's only PvP if you want it. Agree or disagree? Absolutely pop your comments in the description box down below. What else I do want to mention though is with the nuclear missiles, you won't be able to aim directly at the players. I've already mentioned that, but they have said players will get a warning. So if there does happen to be a player in the vicinity, they will be warned that a nuclear missile is going to come. So it'll be up to you whether or not you want to stay there or pick up your camp and run away. And we've seen as well from other interviews that the camps can be damaged, but they're very easily repairable. So if you did leave your camp there, maybe you forgot to lock it in or pick it up, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. You would just have to repair it somewhat once you go back to it. But of course you might not be able to get back to it until you've got decent gear, radiation equipment, etc, etc. So the idea is you're probably meant to get out of that area when a nuclear missile gets launched. But you will be wanting to return, because there is going to be high valuable resources that can only be gotten when a nuclear missile has irradiated a certain area. That's been said in many interviews before now, and hopefully you guys know that is where you're going to be getting some high-end quality stuff. So it's interesting. I like the idea. I'm glad that nuclear missiles aren't necessarily going to be just aimed directly at players, although it seemed like a really unique feature to go totally OP. Forget going destroying their base with your little hatchet or using even a rocket launcher. Why not nuke their whole base? That seems very crazy, and it was definitely, I think, a possibility, but I do think they've turned it down a little bit. I do think they've dialed it back just a little bit. Obviously there are a lot of nuclear bunkers and you will be able to go and access lots of these as long as you've got the codes. You can go to any nuclear bunker and set off the nuclear missiles from whatever. What we don't know is how much the range is, whether or not a nuclear bunker will only have a certain range, maybe it's a certain biome, or you can just set off the nuclear missiles from any biome whatsoever. And of course I'm guessing if you've got these codes on you, could it be possible that other players will come and kill you and take the codes and then they can use the nuclear missiles? That would be an amazing end game sort of raiding feature if the map or the game alerted everyone that someone had the codes, and everyone would be on high alert trying to work out what sort of nuclear bunker they'd be going to, maybe trying to ambush them. That is something I'd be looking forward to massively. Absolutely, I think that would be just amazing if they had that gameplay mechanic in it. But yeah, here you go, just finishing off with the last few bits again, looking at it. The Scorched Beast looks a bit odd in the Vaultec video for this, and you can clearly see, like I said, he's not aiming it at them, he's aiming it at players, which isn't true according to the reports and the interviews I read. You won't be able to directly aim it at players. By the way, the irradiated lands do go off over a certain amount of time, so they're not always going to be radiated. They will go back to normal, and then it's just a case of, you know, going back over that land as normal with no worries about any of the problems with radiation. And that is really it. Be on the lookout very soon for a video detailing all the times that Bethesda have made it seem like PvP was the focus. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I still firmly believe this game really was going to be geared much more towards PvP than it's actually turned out to be. Of course, things will change, and it is going to be a live developing service, and they're going to be taking feedback. Probably not from the beta though, because the beta is only coming out a couple of weeks from release, but hopefully in the first few months of the game's life, maybe they'll make adjustments to make it either more PvP or maybe even less. Maybe the PvP they've got in it at the moment is just perfect, and the way they've done it is going to be the right system. If you're not too sure about how the PvP systems work, I've done quite a few videos in the last few weeks talking about it, but go and check them out for sure and you'll get all the information how PvP works. It really isn't the focus of the game anymore. It's definitely going to be something that's just there for people if they want it to be, and the chance of griefing people has definitely been reduced. And of course we have already seen some other creatures that are toxic, so maybe they'll be made irradiated by radiation, and we'll see various different variants of creatures. So it's not going to be just the Scorched Beast we're going to be dealing with in these nuclear wastes. I do believe we're going to have some toxic creatures as well. Not confirmed, but everything they've shown and they've talked about recently, it does make me think we're going to have much more variety in the creatures that we face when a nuclear missile happens. And that is it. I am Jade Plays Games. This has been another Fallout 76 video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you hit like on the button. Come and join my Discord. We've got loads of information about all sorts of games, and I'm really getting excited for Fallout 76 now. We've only got a month till the beta starts. Hopefully it's going to be coming very, very soon at the start of the month rather than the end. And then of course the full game is only 2 months away. One of the most hyped up games I've known in a long time will be finally ours to play, and definitely one of the most unique launches and announcements of a game I've seen in a long time too. Divisive it is. I can't wait to show you guys what's happening in Fallout 76.